All right, so we are on page 265, lesson 5-3, and today we will be using mental math, and we are going to estimate quotients for greater dividends. And our I can statement for today is I can estimate quotients for four-digit dividends. Four-digit dividends. All right, so here little Jimmy has 3,000 tickets to sell at the school carnival. Wow, that's a lot of tickets. Jimmy separated the tickets into groups of 8 tickets. About how many groups did Jimmy make? Solve this problem using any strategy that we choose. Okay, so it says you can use reasoning to find compatible numbers to estimate. Dividing with compatible numbers make estimating easier. So you've probably heard me talking about compatible numbers with fifth graders, right? Compatible numbers are just two numbers that you can divide in your head that's very easy for you to do. Okay. So just think of two numbers that go together. Whenever I think of compatible numbers, I like to think about the word compatible. Have you ever heard of two people being compatible? Like, oh, they're compatible with one another. Okay. Compatible just means that they go together, they work well together. Okay. That's what compatible means. So we want to find numbers that are compatible. All right. So think of it like a match. Okay. So we have 3,000 tickets, and he separates them into groups of 8 tickets. All right. So we know we're going to be doing some division here. All right. So if I'm doing 3,000 divided by 8, can I do this in my head? Can I really do this in my head? No, I cannot. But that's where compatible numbers come in, and they will help me try and figure out division easily so that I don't have to do all this math first. Okay. So let's look at this. Let's just ignore some of these zeros, right? Because we know for a fact 8 can't go into 3, right? We know that 8 cannot go into 3. But can 8 go into 30? Yes, 8 can go into 30, right? So let's start off with this 30. 8 cannot go into 30 evenly, but maybe can we find a number that's close to 30 that can go evenly into 8? What's a number close to 30 that can go evenly into 8? Good job, Danielle. 32. 32. 8, 16, 24, 32. 32. So let's change this from 30 to 32. And then we can't forget about the zeros. We can't forget about the zeros. Our number has to stay the same. We cannot change 3,000 to 32. But we can change 3,000 to 3,200. Okay. So if you take away two zeros, you need to make sure you add those two zeros back as well. All right. Now we can divide it by 8, right? How many times can 8 go into 32? 8, 16, 24, 32. 4 times. 8 can go into 32 4 times. All right. But what am I going to do with these two zeros? What am I going to do with these two zeros? Am I going to erase them and leave them alone? Or what am I going to do to them? Or what should I do to them? Alina, what should I do with these two zeros? Add them to what? Good job, Caden. Right, I'm going to add them to the 4. I can't forget about them. Okay, zeros are important too. All right, so now I know 32,000 divided by 8 will give me 400, which means that my answer will probably be close to 400. So do you see how we did this division? Sorry. And we didn't have to do those long steps to try and find the answer. We took a shortcut. this is one of the times where you can take the easy way out. So we just did this simply on paper and we got 400. So we know there will be about 400 groups. About 400 groups. So anytime you see the word about, that means you need to estimate. Estimate. Anytime you see that word about, they're not asking you exactly how many, they're asking you about how many. So about how many groups did he make? Let me make sure my iPad is. All right. So we will say Jimmy made about 400 groups. All right. Does everyone have this?
I do.
Awesome. Go ahead, Aaliyah. Girl, I see you working with that pencil.
I'm a fast writer.
Go, Carmen. Does everyone have this? Jean, do you have this? All right. Good job, Diana. Danielle, sorry. Are we ready now? Okay. Next. Okay, there we go. What basic fact did you use to solve the problem above? Can someone refresh my memory? What basic fact did we use to solve this problem?
Division?
We divided, but they're asking what basic, it should have said, we should have said multiplication fact. They wanted to know what basic multiplication fact we used to solve this problem.
3,200 divided by 8.
Multiplication. And basic means really, really simple. So really, really simple. So how did we get to 3,200? We had to multiply some number by 8 to get to 3,200. So what number did we multiply by 8 to get to 32? What number did we multiply by 8 to get to 32? Just 32, not 3,200, just 32. 4, yes. 8 times 4 gave us 32. Whenever they're asking for the basic multiplication, they're not talking about with the hundreds and the thousands. They're talking about the really simple 1-digit multiplication facts. That's what they wanted to know. We know that 8 times 4 will give me 32, and all I did was add the zeros at the end. All I did was add the zeros. So they wanted to know what simple thing did we do?
So to write anything on it?
Huh?
Do we write anything else on it?
Nope. That's the basic multiplication facts we used.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. Let me share my screen for page 266.
How do you estimate quotients using place value? On a clean up your town day, 1,320 people volunteered to clean up the Springville parks. They were divided equally into teams to work in each of the town's parks. About how many people were on each team? What operation is needed to solve this problem? Why?
What operation is needed
Select
to
your
solve
answer.
this problem? Is it addition? Are we going to be adding here? Nope. Are we going to be subtracting here? Nope. Multiplying? Nope. We're going to be dividing to see how many people were, or how many teams they had.
Since a whole is being separated into equal groups, division is the needed operation. The 1,320 people need to be divided into 6 equal groups. Does the answer have to be exact? How do you know? The problem asks about how many are on each team, so an estimate is all that is needed. Use multiplication patterns and division facts to solve. Multiplication and division are related. Mentally multiplying by tens or hundreds can help you estimate the quotient of a multi-digit division problem. First, use multiplication patterns to estimate. Ask yourself, 6 times what number is about 1,320? You know 6 times 2 equals 12, so 6 times 20 equals 120, and 6 times 200 equals 1,200.
So do you see how they use the basic multiplication fact, 6 times 2, to get to 1,200? That's what we were doing on the other page. That's why they asked about the basic multiplication fact. So they use what they know about 6 times 2, a really basic multiplication fact, to get to 6 times 200. Okay, that's what we were doing.
$1,200 is close enough to 1,320 for this estimate. Another way is to use division facts and place value patterns to find compatible numbers. Estimate the quotient 1,320 divided by 6. You know 12 divided by 6 equals 2, so 120 divided by 6 equals 20, and 1,200 divided by 6 equals 200. 1,320 divided by 6 is about 200. Each team is made up of about 200 people. Would the exact answer be more or less than 200? Tell how you decided.
All right.
Select your answer.
So would the exact answer be more or less than 200? Do you think it'll be more or less? Type it in the chat and tell me what you think. Do you think it'll be more or less than 200?
Teacher, I don't have a lot of internet to back. We just talked to them, and my mom is talking to pretty much my mom. My grandma and my grandpa, my other grandpa.
So we have more than 1,200 people. So our answer is going to be more than 200. Okay?
The answer would be more than 200 because 1,200 is less than 1,320. Now you know how to estimate quotients using multiplication patterns and division facts.
All righty. All right, bottom of page 266. Complete the calculations at the right. Explain how you can use the calculations to estimate 1,296 divided. Okay. So, can someone tell Ms. Thibodeau, what is 4 times 100? What is 4 times 100? Let's see who knows this basic multiplication fact. What's 4 times 100? Crickets. Crickets. What's 4 times 100? 100, 200, 300, 400. Thank you, Jean. All my fourth graders are sleepy. They're sleepy. Basic multiplication. 4 times 200 is 4 times, thank you, Thomas, 800. Because 4 times 2 is 8, and I just add the 2 zeros at the end. Okay? What about here? 4 times 3 gives me 12, and I just add the 2 zeros at the end. 4 times 4 gives me 16, and I just add the 2 zeros at the end. So do you see the basic multiplication facts that we are using to solve these? Okay. So explain how you can use the calculations to estimate 1,296 divided by 4. So whenever we look at these, right? 1,296 divided by 4 is closer to what number right here? It's closer to 1,200, right? So that means 1,296 divided by 4 is about 300. So it's about 300. Okay, it's about 300. Yes, let me send her to the breakout room. So 267, another example. So here they're just giving us another example of what we've been working on so far. You can use rounding to estimate the quotients. Estimate 357 divided by 8 by rounding the dividend, the number we are dividing. What number are we dividing? 357. Okay, so we need to round this number. So we are going to round 357 to 400. 400 divided by 8, okay? 400 divided by 8 gives me 50. How did they get 50? Because we know 840 divided by 8 gives me 5, and all I did was add a 0 at the end. That basic multiplication fact, 8 times 5 gives me 40. Don't forget the opposite of division is multiplication. So we use multiplication to help us solve division, okay? So 357 divided by 8 is about 50. Is about 50. Okay. Here again, estimate 5,582 divided by 7 by rounding the dividend, the number we are dividing. The number we are dividing is 5,582. So we rounded 5,582 to 5,600, okay, divided by 7. Because we know 7 times 8 gives me 56, all right? And all I have to do is add the 2 zeros at the end. So I get 800. So 5,582 divided by 7 is about 800. So just think of these basic multiplication facts.
I'm going to be heading out. I think we got everyone except for Brandon, but we'll figure out contact the family or something. Thank you so much.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much for being here.
All right.
All righty.
I'm Miss Thibodeau, so what will fifth grade do now?
Fifth grade is working on the assignment from earlier and making sure that you have finished all of that.
Okay.
All right, again. All right, we are on the guided practice. When estimating 1,320 divided by 6, why is rounding not a good strategy? Well, let's look and see. If we round 1,320 to 1,300, right? Can 1,300 go evenly into 6? So let's look at those first two numbers. Can 13 go evenly into 6? Yes or no? Yes, please write this down. Can 13 go evenly into 6? Yes, no, maybe so. Crickets, crickets. Where's everyone at? Can 13 go into 6? Thank you, Alina. No, 13 cannot go into 6. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Kaden. No, 13 cannot go into 6. Okay. So what about if we round 1,320 to 1,000? Can 1,000 go even, or can 10 even go evenly into 6? Can 10 go evenly into 6? No, no. So why is rounding not a good strategy? Because whenever we round, both numbers cannot go evenly into 6. So we can say when we round, neither numbers divide evenly into 6. You can round even numbers. Those numbers just can't go into 6. Okay, but if we change this 1,320 to 1,200, then that can go evenly into 6, because we know 6 times 2 is 12. Add the 2 zeros, 200. Mental math. All right. Number 2, when dividing a 4-digit number by a 1-digit number, how many digits can the quotient have? Can it only have one number? Nope. Can it have, so let's, for example, let's pick a number and let's do really, really simple, basic types of division to see. So let's say we have 1 divided by a 4-digit number, 1,000. Okay. So 1 divided by 1,000 will give me 1,000, right? So my answer can either be a 4-digit number, right? Or what about this? How many times can 2, or let's say 20, oh wait, is 1 digit. Oops, my bad. Let's say 4. Into 3,200, right? Can 4 go into 3? No. But can 4 go into 32? Yes. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. 4 can go into 32 8 times. And then I see zeros here, so I just add my zeros. So my answer can either be 4 digits or 3 digits. So the quotient can be 3 or 4 digits. All right. Now let's look here. Estimate each quotient. Estimate each quotient. So we want to look here at the divisor to see what I should change my dividend to. 8 cannot go into 33, but 8 can go into 32, right? So let's change this to 3,200. And we're estimating, so it doesn't have to be exact. 3,200 divided by 8, right? 3,200 divided by 8. 8 can go into 32 4 times, right? Don't forget, we have to add the 0, so it's about 400. What about here? Can 9 go into 552 evenly? No, but let's look at the multiples of 6. Let's look at the multiples of 9. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54. All right, well, 54 is close to 55. So let's change this to 540 divided by 9. And we will get about 600. All right. So I want you really quickly to try working out number 7. And when you get the answer, type it to me in the chat. Okay. So this is what we got. For number 3, we got about 400. Number 5, we got about 600. And number 7, we got about 400. Don't forget to use those basic multiplication facts. Okay. All right. So let me stop this recording.